Have you ever cleaned your bike just to take a step back, look at your work and go, wow, that really doesn't look any better? Well, so have I. But do not fret, because today we're going to take a look at Muc-Off's product. We're going to follow their cleaning guide to a T, and we're going to see if their product is as amazing as they claim it to be. Real quick before we get started though, if you do enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I appreciate each and every one of you. But we have to set things straight first and foremost. The bike shop is a Muc-Off ambassador. What does that actually mean? It means that the bike shop spent enough money at the beginning of the year for them to send a bunch of test products and some hats and stuff like that. I'm not saying that like as an insult. We appreciate the Muc-Off product here, but I do have to say it like that because this isn't a sponsored video. That's where I'm getting at. The product speaks for itself. Let's just go. So here in my possession, I have Muc-Off's complete guide to taking care of your bicycle. Before we start on this endeavor, the ingredient list is as needed. 1 bottle of BioDrivetrain degreaser, 1 set of disc brake covers, 1 bottle of Nanotech bike cleaner. This stuff is really where the magic is going to happen. 1 bottle of bike protect. I could honestly stop at this point a lot of times and skip to the lube, but let's just keep going. 1 bottle of MO94, a wax of choice, and then of course your lubricant of choice. Oh, and one other thing, you're gonna use brushes of your choice. To me, Muc-Off's brushes work just as good as anybody else's, but that's not the product that really sets them apart. For today's video, I'll employ the help of one Chandler. He works at the bike shop, can break an anvil, and specializes in awkwardness.
Okay, now you can say hey to the camera.
Hola. Make it rain, baby.
Making it rain.
Make it rain.
So once we have our bike ready, brushes on standby, and our ingredients assembled, the first step is to use the BioDrivetrain Cleaner. You want to first spray the BioDrivetrain Cleaner onto the chain and the cassette, let it sit for up to 1 minute, and then agitate it with a firm bristled brush. Now, why exactly does this stuff work so well? The BioDrivetrain Cleaner is made up of aliphatic hydrocarbons, mainly butoxyethanol. Butoxyethanol is a great surfactant. Butoxyethanol is basically interacting with water and forming these tiny microscopic brushes that just destroy the oily mess that is created by your drivetrain. You want to do your drivetrain first, and the main reason being because that oily mess that is on your cassette and your chain rings, it is going to get slung just about everywhere. So once you clean the drivetrain up, we are going to move along to the frame. And basically when you're cleaning your drivetrain, I say the outside portion of this, you're just trying to get the majority of the big, nasty, dirty stuff off. I tend to take the rear wheel off once we get it inside, and we'll go to that as well. Next, we're gonna move on to my favorite product, the Nanotech bike cleaner. This is all just an educated guess, but the biggest difference I see between the Nanotech bike cleaner and some other products is that it has a multitude of those surfactants. The surfactant, in the cleaner of this Nanotech will target the dirt and grime on your bike, instead of like the BioDrivetrain Cleaner where it had a surfactant in it and they were trying to target the oils. So to let this process take full effect, you really want to completely coat your bike in the cleaner, scrub the mess out of it, agitate it.
Agitate it.
Oh, I'm agitated.
Get that stuff in all the nooks and crannies, and then you want to leave it sitting for 3 to 5 minutes while the Nanotech cleaner works its magic. You also want to do this out of direct sunlight. Muc-Off really stresses out of direct sunlight, and I was curious as to why, and it is simply the reason that I thought. The cleaner does dry relatively fast, and it will leave a residue if you don't rinse it off in time. So leaving it in direct sunlight isn't going to catch your bike on fire or anything like that, but it will leave this nasty little grime on it. So this isn't going to hurt your bike, but it won't give the desired result.
Miss a spot.
I'm coming back.
That way all the outside shots are done. Now, after you have scrubbed the
the drivetrain, your frame, cleaned it all back off. You want to bring the bike over to some shady areas or inside in your garage, in the bike shop, and finish the cleaning process. Only other step that is missing from this process that I do like to do, take your rear wheel out of your bike. And then you want to floss that cassette. That really gets all of the grime out. That way you can actually clean the chain with your cassette not being on there. You can get into all the nooks and crannies, really detail that drivetrain. Before applying protection sprays, use our disc covers. These disc brake covers were one of those items that I thought were kind of gimmicky, and then the first time I used them, I was like, where have you been all my life? Apply Bike Protect to your frame for a protective finish. Avoid braking surfaces. Spray the MO94 on your cassette and chain to drive out moisture, but avoid braking surfaces unless you want no brakes. One thing that I do find really awesome about the Muc-Off product is a lot of it does have UV dye in it. Let's take a look here. The UV dye is essentially so if you think you got it on your disc brakes or something of that nature, you can have your little UV light handy, shine it, and see if you did. I just think that is such an ingenious thing to put that no one has done yet. That is one thing that I love about their products. Basically, if you want to think about it, MO94 is WD-40. It is their formula for WD-40. It's going to drive out all water, but when you use this stuff, you want to make sure you re-lubricate. Next, you are going to pick your protectant, as I would call it. For matte finishes, use the Matte Finish Detailer. For glossy frames, you want to use the Wonder Shine, and you can use the Silicone Shine as well, which is pretty slick. This is kind of a do-it-all polish. It might not do as good of a job as something like the Wonder Shine or the Matte Finisher, because those are specifically made for glossy and matte bikes, respectively. But what it does do is it puts a silicone protective coating over top of your bike, and it also is somewhat of a slick lubricant. Like they claim, you can actually throw this stuff on the stanchions of your suspension and it will help keep everything running smoothly. I do enjoy having some sort of a protective covering over my bicycle whenever I'm riding, because one thing that I have noticed, if you completely clean your bike with all these chemicals and you don't really put anything back on it, it scratches way easier. The dirt and the mud and the grime sticks to your frame way easier. So always go back over, if you want your stuff looking good, always go back over it with something like the Silicone Shine, Wonder Shine, Matte Finisher, whatever your preferred method of shine will be, your polish of choice. Mine is Silicone Shine. And last but not least, you want to pick your poison when it comes to lubrication. I tend to stick with the dry lube in this area. Think about it this way. The standard dry wet lube dilemma. Dry lube is used for drier conditions. Wet lube is used for wetter conditions. Wet lube stays wet. So if you're going to be racing in the rain or riding in the muck and the nastiness, like through the winter time, that stuff is going to stay on your bike way better than the dry lube. The dry lube you have to reapply more consistently, but it doesn't make a mess. So I prefer the dry lube, especially in the Charlotte area, because most of these trails close anyway. Now, when you go up to like the C3, the ceramic, all that kind of stuff, the ludicrous AF chain lube, all of that stuff is basically, it lasts longer and is slicker. Ludicrous AF chain lube is supposed to last like a month off of one application. It's something ridiculous. And then to reapply the lube, just pedal backwards, and you wanna, it's not rocket science, guys. You just wanna kind of eyeball where you start applying the lube, and then just do one full rotation on every little roller. And there you have it. That is how I clean my bicycle. Do I like the Muc-Off product? How do you think the bikes look with it? I think the Muc-Off product is about as good as it gets. So to me, whenever you have lubrication, cleaners, that kind of stuff, especially in the bike world, 9 times out of 10, it's either just crap or it works, but nothing really goes above and beyond, right? Then once I started trying this Muc-Off stuff, I was like, okay, some of this is a game changer. It works phenomenally well. When you fully follow their step-by-step instructions, you can completely make a bike look as close to new as possible. Case in point being, I put this Marin back on the floor after we cleaned it. This bike got a complete overhaul as well, so there was lots of grease. Cleaned it really good, did the step-by-step Muc-Off instructions. A good customer of ours came in, he immediately said, when did you guys start carrying Marin? And that made me laugh because I was like, we just did an overhaul on that bike. That is not a new bike, that's not a bike we're selling, that's a customer's bike. I mean, holy crap, really? That is a testament to how good your product is, Muc-Off. So there you have it. Thanks for cleaning bikes with me today and my friends. I hope to see you all in the next video. I will leave a link to all the Muc-Off stuff down below. They are a great company. Give them some support. I'll leave a link below. None of it's an affiliate link or anything like that. I just like their product. So I will see everyone in the next video. Bye-bye.